Hey, good afternoon, guys and gals. This is Brad Varnell with Infinite Crypto. And today I have a very, very special show in store for you all. I'm so excited to bring this gentleman, this guest speaker, onto the show today. Not only is he an amazing person with fantastic character and integrity and morals, and just a guy that takes risks in life. But he's become my friend over the last couple of years. And so I really enjoy getting to spend some time with him in this format. So this gentleman has been an American Idol contestant. He's been a professional poker player. He trades stocks. He's an entertainer. He's been a professional speaker and spoken on stages like, 10X or TEDx. And without any further ado, let me introduce to you William Hung. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Brad, what's up?
Welcome to the show, man. We're so honored to have you here today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I guess, today's show is going to be all about, taking risks in life and, how that kind of translates into living your dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I guess we have to start back in the beginning. Was it 2007?
2004.
2004. Way back in 2004, William auditioned for American Idol. And that's kind of how everything began in his life for him. What were you, about 20 years old?
Yes.
Yeah. So go ahead and tell us just a little bit about the story. And if you guys want to Google the audition, you can Google it very easily. But man, it's a pretty amazing story. So I'll just let you kind of get into it and talk about how you got started out in life.
Yeah. Well, when I was young, I loved video games. I loved ping pong. I didn't like studying all that much, but I kind of have to get through school. And then after that, when I got into college, I was good with math and science. So that's why I studied for civil engineering for a while at UC Berkeley.
Okay.
But I wasn't enjoying it. I wasn't having fun. So I thought something needs to change. Then one day, I saw this poster for a school talent show. And then I thought I need to try. So I watched some music videos from Ricky Martin's She Bangs. Mm-hmm. I didn't have any expectations, but somehow I won. I won a DVD player. So that's what gave me the confidence to audition for American Idol.
Okay. Awesome. And how did the American Idol audition go for you?
Well, I went through multiple preliminary rounds. So I was confident when I saw Randy, Paula, and Simon. Then, as soon as I began my audition, Randy held a white sheet of paper to cover up his face and giggled. Paula was staring at me, and I kept going. She bangs, oh baby, when she moves, I go crazy. And Simon said, thank you. You can't sing, you can't dance. So what do you want me to say?
Right.
I said, I already gave my best. I have no regrets at all. Paula said, good for you. That's the best attitude yet. I said, I had no professional training. And Simon goes, no. Well, that's a surprise of the century.
Right? Yeah, it's kind of funny. When I told my family that I was doing this interview, and they know you a little bit through me and stuff, but we brought up your audition just a few days ago, just because my son was like, couldn't remember. And yeah, it was pretty brutal, especially Simon. I know he can be like that sometimes.
Yeah.
But that was one of the things that attracted me to you, when William and I actually met at the Venetian poker room in Las Vegas. He was playing poker there one night, and I saw him sitting at a table, and I wanted to introduce myself to him, but I didn't want to do it while he was at the table, while he was concentrating. So when he got up to go cash out his chips, I went up and kind of introduced myself to him. I kind of saw that look in your eyes, like you weren't quite sure, like, was I getting ready to make fun of you? Because I did bring up the, American Idol. You're like, is this guy going to make fun of me? What is he going to do? And then, what I told William, and I think it really goes along with the story or the topic of the day, is I told him, I have so much respect for you because you got out there on the stage and did it. so many people in life that want to do, whether it's singing or dancing or whatever it is in life, but they're held back by their fears. They're held back by their comfort zone. And so one of the reasons I wanted to get to know you was because of the fact that you were willing to step out of your comfort zone and take that risk. And that risk in that comfort zone is basically catapulted you into a very successful, amazing life.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm so grateful because I never thought that would happen in the way it did.
Right. So after American Idol, kind of what have you been up to since then, and what are you doing these days?
Well, after American Idol audition, I was living like 4 years of my dream life. I had a record contract. I travel and perform all over the world. But then when my showbiz slowed down, I had a choice. I could go back to school or keep trying with showbiz. So I thought at that point in my life, I made enough money. So I want to finish school, get a stable job, maybe start a family, and that's that.
Yeah.
So I did get my degree, a bachelor's in math and master's in business. And then I worked for the government for like 8 years before I decided that it's time to change my life again.
Okay. So was poker one of the next steps, or did you have some stuff in between poker? Or what, how did poker come about for you?
Yeah, so poker came around after my American Idol audition because I got invited to perform at a casino, and I love the limit poker. I don't know what it was. I remember I started with playing the 1-2 limit, the beginner's level, but I had beginner's luck. I made like $300 in one night. It's like, yay, this is awesome. with the show aspects and with the chips flying around, that's pretty cool. So yeah, I've been playing poker for a long time, but I didn't take it that seriously. It was just like, okay, I play whenever, I win some money here and there, not a big deal. But then after I worked for a government job for like 6 or 7 years in, I feel like I feel tired. I feel like there's nowhere for me to go. I couldn't go up, I couldn't grow anymore. So I thought like, okay, what am I good at? I know that singing is not my student of genius, even though I got lucky. So maybe poker is. I actually won some poker tournaments online. So I was like, okay, let's give that a try. So I took it very seriously. It's like a side hustle for me. I studied really hard. I put in extra 30 hours a week in addition to my full-time job. So yeah, it wasn't easy to get to where I am today. But after about like 3 to 4 years of consistent like winning, that I finally earned enough to quit my job, and then now I can move on to the next phase of my life.
Right. Awesome. So what do you recommend? Because the people that are watching are probably sitting there saying, okay, that's great for you. You had the courage to step out, go to the audition, and you're living your dreams. But what kind of advice would you give to the people watching this video that are, they're sitting there wanting to jump into the deep end of the swimming pool, but they just haven't had the courage to do it yet? How would you recommend they get started?
Well, I'm not one of those people that's going to overpromise. The way I created the life that I have and still working on improving is one step at a time in an authentic way. It's not like from 10,000 to 100,000 to 1 million. It doesn't work like that. So if if it's the same thing. If you're trying to like improve your life, like when Brad, you're the witness of this. When you get into crypto, like you spend a lot of time and effort to get to where you are today, right? So it's the same thing. You start somewhere. You start from the beginning. And I for poker for me it's the same thing. I start from the beginning. I didn't assume anything. Maybe I just got lucky in the beginning, right? So after I got started, like putting in like a lot of hours, over 100 hours a month, I realized it wasn't that easy. It really wasn't that easy. So this is like anything else in life. You will definitely face setbacks. There'll be times when you're like, oh my God, this is so bad. I want to give up. I don't want to do this anymore. But then you have to remind yourself, okay, what progress did I make? What did I learn? But then the most important thing, the biggest takeaway, if you forgot everything else I said from this interview, what is the worst thing that can happen to you? That's how I judge whether or not I can afford to take a certain risk. Like if you were to tell me, Brad, that hey, I need to put up $100,000 to buy some new crypto that I have no idea about, I'm not doing it because that's a risk I cannot afford to take at this stage of my life. But so it's with it, you want to do it in a smart way and do it within reason.
Makes sense. So you wrote a book called Champion by Choice.
Yeah.
So expand on that a little bit. And does that book have some personal development in it? Like if somebody was looking for, a way to kind of work on their mindset and to create some success in their life by, changing their outlook on life, and maybe they've kind of got a negative, pessimistic attitude a lot of times, that kind of stuff. Would you recommend your book to them? Is that a great way for them to start on the path to success?
Oh, absolutely. So the name of my book is called Champion by Choice. So the main idea is that you can always make choices to become a champion regardless of your circumstances. Most people don't born from a rich family, including me. I have parents that just struggle for most of their lives until recently. So it's not like, instead of sitting there and say, oh my God, my life is so terrible. What can I do? Maybe look at okay, well, my life is not the best, but I still have a roof over my head. I still have food I can eat. I still can enjoy traveling and hang out with friends, right? I'm not in that bad of a shape. So I can do something if I want to. I can do something to study. I can do something to improve myself. So yeah.
Absolutely. So besides your book, Champion by Choice, which I'm assuming they can buy on Amazon and
Amazon would be the easiest. Yeah.
Okay, definitely. Then so we'll put the link in the description of this video so that you can go take a look and maybe buy William's book. But besides your book, what's one other book that you would recommend the viewers go buy and read if they're not where they want to be in life and they're looking for a catalyst to maybe help them get started in the right direction?
Sure. Let me pull up the book I've been reading recently. It's called Stock and Options Trading for Life by Russ Matthews.
Okay. So that's kind of where you're at. That's your main focus these days is stock and option trading?
Yeah. I learned so much from the book. Even if you're not interested to trade stocks, you learn a lot about risk management and strategies to manage your risk very well. So that's the biggest takeaway. Like because it doesn't matter how much you earn if you somehow give it all away in the next trade or the next investment. So that's why I highly recommend this book, because they are related. Even though it doesn't sound like it's related, it's actually related. Especially recently with things like Ethereum and Bitcoin, I noticed when the economy goes up, the stock market goes up, the main crypto goes up with it. When it goes down, they go down with it too.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Makes sense. And so much of poker translates into real life too. I was a poker dealer, and then I dealt poker just enough to where I had money to play poker. And so for several years, poker was my main income, but I always had the backup of the poker dealing, because just playing poker exclusively for a living is really a rough way to go. I know there's a lot of people out there that's their dream, and I don't try to dissuade them from that, but I've found over the years that playing poker was a rough way to make a living. And then recently I found that I still love poker, but it wasn't actually the fact that I loved poker. It was actually that I loved the freedom that poker gave me.
Yes. Same thing.
And now that I have that through my cryptocurrencies,
yes,
I really don't have a whole lot of desire to play a ton of poker. I do play occasionally,
right.
But I always thought that when I got rich, that, man, now I can play bigger buy-in tournaments and I can play higher level cash games. And
Exactly.
man, I'm going to be playing with Phil Ivey someday. And I kind of found out that now that I have the money and the freedom to enjoy my life, that I don't really care as much about poker, that it was just a means to an end. Did you find
Yeah.
that? You found that at all in your life?
Well, I would love to play against the Phil Ivies and Maria Holes, in the future. But again, like what kind of risk are you taking?
Right.
Like if it's $1,000 tournament, maybe at this stage in your life, it's not a big deal. But you have to risk like hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's like, why, right? You work very hard to get to this point. It's not worth it. So yeah. So I agree that like I still want to enjoy poker.
Yes.
But I don't want. But I think now I'm so grateful. I only play because I want to, not because I have to.
Yes. Absolutely. It makes all the difference in the world when you got to go play poker to make a living. It can definitely become, they call it grinding, and it really does
Yeah.
become a grind. So, definitely. So, have you ever read any books like Think and Grow Rich or The Magic of Thinking Big and that kind of stuff at all?
I read a little bit from Think and Grow Rich. So I read the Cliff Notes version, not the whole book
Okay.
yet.
Okay.
But the main principles are what we talk about today. It's about like having the inner belief that you can get there. But I think the part I disagree with, and and a lot of the gurus or influencers out there is like, oh, you can get there easily, and I don't believe that. It's not easily. It's more like you see the progress little by little,
Right.
and maybe you have to fall, maybe you have to lose, maybe you have to feel the suffering in a way before you get to the success.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with that 100%. I mean, it's there for the taking, but it takes a lot of hard work. The Gary V's of the world, that talk about, working for 10 years for 14, 15 hours a day while their
Yeah.
buddies were out partying and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of people want the success, but they don't want the work that comes with it. So I agree
Yes.
with you that, success leaves clues. And most successful people have, put in, a ton of time and really sacrificed a lot. Although I did come up with, I listened to something the other day that I really liked. Instead of viewing it as sacrifice, view it as an investment in what you really want in life. So, like for me, I've been successful in a lot of areas of my life, but it's not that hard to look at me and realize that I could use some help in the health department. It is what it is. I need to lose about 70 or 80 pounds. And I'm 48 years old, and I'm thinking to myself, man, I want to be around, for my daughter's wedding and for my grandchildren. And now I have, a pretty neat financial situation where I can really go enjoy life. What
Right.
good is that if I kick the bucket at 55 because I didn't take care of my health? So
Yeah,
even
exactly.
me, I'm working on that aspect of my mindset with my health.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. So, I know I saw a Facebook post where you're getting excited about getting back down to your fighting weight and that kind of stuff too. So what are you doing in that direction? Do you have any good suggestions for, or the path that you're going to take?
I will definitely start off by changing my diet. I did spend quite a bit of time going vegan, but I
Okay.
got bored the last 6 months or so. And then because I was eating too good, the lobsters, the steaks, and whatnot, I gained a bunch of weight the last 6 months. So that's why I need to restrict myself again.
Okay.
And I'm a big believer with eating more fruits and vegetables. It doesn't matter if you're vegan or not. Like if you want to eat lean meat, maybe you can have some chicken and fish from time to
Yep.
time. But but yeah, gotta be really careful what you put into your body.
Absolutely. So you also mentioned before we hopped on this live stream that you really enjoy doing cameos, and
Yep.
that a lot of people come to you and you like, sing happy birthday to a family member or all sorts of different stuff. So talk a little bit about how you came up with that idea, and then let the viewers know how they can find you if they would enjoy a cameo done by you.
Sure. So the cameos, it's just one of those things that happened by chance. Back last year, January, someone reached out to me about Cameo. It's like, what is this app? And then I remember it was some talent manager from Instagram. And then they told me, you know what? Just look at the videos, and I saw like, whoa, Randy Jackson is on there, Paula Abdul's on there. What? They're really on there. So I looked at like, okay, well, I can do my version of it. Like I can make fun of people from time to time, poke fun at them, sing some fun songs, do some happy birthdays. Like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll try. So in the beginning, I just looked at it as another side hustle when I was still trying to make it, from poker.
Right.
And then after the pandemic really hit us, that's when I got a lot of requests. And maybe it just, I would say that the way I look at it, I'm just very grateful. But I think everything in your life happens for a reason. Like I realized, maybe people need the happiness. People need the joy. They're really sad. It's really difficult. It is. It still is. So yeah, I'm glad I can fill in that void, and that's what I do. So sometimes people, like you said, they ask me to do birthday songs. Sometimes they do ask me to do pep talks. Other times they ask me to make some announcements for weddings. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Awesome, man. And I know you've done some public speaking too. What do you like public speaking? Do you like going to the bigger events and talking from a stage?
Yeah, I do. I've been putting aside for just a little bit because I'm still evolving. But I feel that the main theme that I always share is about taking risks and how to chase your dreams in a way that's authentic. Like I won't tell people that just go quit their jobs tomorrow. That's not realistic. That's not a smart decision. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always been a firm believer that you make a living, from 9 to 5, and then you make your fortune from 5 till bedtime. That's how most people have to do it. I mean, unless you got a really good early start in life and you just, the first thing you did was create a business or something, then maybe you can do that route. But if you're already, 25, 35, 45 years old, especially if you're married and you have a family, and you've got a solid job, a career started, and it's not fulfilling you, it's not making you happy, but it's paying the bills. I agree with you. It's not smart to just quit that job and go for it. Keep that job, keep your bills paid, but spend the extra hours in life. So many people, they just want to come home from work and lay on the couch and watch TV.
Right.
And then they wonder why they're not getting more out of life. So it's so important to take those extra hours aside from the way that you make a living and figure out how to follow your dream, how to chase your passion.
Yeah, I think the biggest misconception, and now we're starting to realize that, especially the last couple of years, like we always, you've probably been hearing like, just buy and hold the stocks and invest, into the mutual funds, the index funds, work hard, save, we can retire comfortably. That is just not true. That is completely wrong.
I agree 100% with you. Now, I don't know how it is that people like us kind of figure that out and why there's so many people. I got a lot of family members that, you talk about anything other than working for somebody else, and they look at you like you got 3 heads. So I'm not exactly sure how we got to be the way that we are, but I know that almost every single successful person that I've met that really has built, architected a life that they really love and have dreamed of, none of them have done it from a job. They've all done it from outside of working for somebody else.
Yeah, I think the reason I came to that conclusion, Brad, is because I've done a lot of research myself to find out what the truth is. I worked, like I mentioned, I worked for the government for 8 years, and I had very good coworkers, a nice boss that let me take vacation to do speaking and everything, right? So they are nice people. They were good people. Nothing wrong with them, right? It's just that I just couldn't create the life I want by sticking to my day job. I don't want to wait until 20 years later.
Yes.
So I done my research and I found out like how the taxes work, how the how is unstable the stock the general stock market is. Like if you just buy and hold and invest and hope that you earn 6% a year and then you get there by the end, that may or may not work. And then the other things that come to mind is like Social Security could run out of money soon. You can't rely on other people. You have to rely on yourself, and that's what made me like put the fire in my belly to go for it.
Awesome. Absolutely, man. I agree with that 100%. So what's the future look like? What do you, I mean, other than the stock and options trading, what do you envision your life as? What dream or passion, what are you trying to achieve over the next handful of years?
Well, I want to still create some kind of program or education to teach people to live a bold and confident life. And there are so many aspects to that. It's not just the finance. It's about like you mentioned. It's also about the mindset. But just having the mindset. So with mindset and then the knowledge, you need both, right? Like there's a lot. Like the biggest flaw for programs like Think and Grow Rich, they only teach you the mindset part. They don't tell you like, okay, this is how you run your numbers. This is how much risk you can afford to take. This is what you need to be doing. So you need that too.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're talking along the lines of like a financial education mainly, like you'd like to be able to take the knowledge and the experience that you have in stocks and options and maybe put that into a course that people can learn from?
Yeah. I mean, I like for now, I'm still learning. Just to put it out there for your audience, the stocks and options, I only started the last 2 to 3 months.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna say I have any track record, but this is the direction I need to take because I can't just sit there and hope my money gets there. It's been so unstable the last this past few months, so you never know. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, and then when I get there, then yes, I'll definitely share what I learned as well.
Awesome. Now are you like awake when the market opens and you spend 2 or 3 hours on your computer and then you're kind of able to go enjoy the rest of your day doing other stuff? Are you on the computer for 8 hours a day? How much time are you spending on trading stocks and options?
I am glued to my computer for most of the market hours, Monday to Friday. But that will change. The reason I'm glued right now is because I'm still learning, I'm still reading, I'm still researching. I let's just say that I pay a lot of tuition to do a lot of things wrong, so that I can do things right the next few months. So it's all part of it. But one of the things I learned though that could be valuable for your audience is you don't need to find 20 or 30 great crypto tokens. I don't need to find 20 or 30 great stocks. That's what the usual fund managers say. It's like you need to be very diversified. You need to have this amazing system, whatever, right? You don't. It's better to just find like handful, maybe 5 to 10 that you really believe in, and then manage the risk. That's what it comes down to.
Right. Yeah, I know that you do a little bit of crypto investing. I also know that you're pretty, I don't know what the right word is, not necessarily skeptical, but because of your risk aversion, I know that you don't do a ton, but do you have any type of a plan like, okay, I'm going to invest $50 a week or $100 a month, or do you have like a automatic type of investing when it comes to your crypto, or how do you decide when and if you're going to put some money into a cryptocurrency?
So here's where I stand. So I'm when I say this, I might get a lot of haters. So based on what I research about crypto, I still don't fully trust crypto yet. There are a lot of potential issues that's beyond our control. Whether it's government crackdown, it won't disappear, but we don't know like what will be emerged as the top. Like is it Bitcoin? Is it Ethereum? Is it some weird Biden coin? Who knows, right? So,
Right.
So because my concern is that I know the U.S. government wants a piece of wherever we earn, so that's where I stand. But in terms of like going for it, I think I do have like a 1 to 2% of my assets there, but not that much. It's
Right.
something like okay, if something bad were to happen, it's not a big deal. So that's just personal preference. It's not right or wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that there's a lot of wisdom to that. Even with my cryptocurrency, background and all of the success that I've had, one of my favorite mentors is a guy named Tika Twari, who owns a publication called the Palm Beach Confidential.
Yeah.
And when he talks about crypto and gives somebody a tip on a token that he believes is going to be good long term,
Yeah.
first disclaimer he gives is don't go all in on this. It should be a small percentage of your net worth. And the neat thing about crypto is that a little bit can turn into a lot. So he recommends for people that don't have a lot of money, $200 to $400 into his picks. And if you have a bigger account and a bigger aversion to risk, 500 to 1,000. So I'm with you. Like most of the time, especially when I'm talking about some of my more speculative plays, I tell somebody, hey, put $500 into it. What's the worst that can happen? You lose 500, like you were talking about risk management.
Yeah.
But if I'm right and this goes up 100 times, you're turning 500 into 50,000.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm with you. I agree 100% that when it comes to cryptocurrency investing, you want to be smart about it. You don't want to put money in that you can't afford to lose, and you don't want to invest money that you might need in the next 3 months either. Like it should be a long-term, 3 month, 6 month, 2-year plan where you put it in and you can forget it. Because crypto is very volatile. If you buy $1,000 worth of a crypto, I'll almost guarantee you that at some point in time, it's going to be down 50, 60, 70%. But
that's the craziest thing, about crypto.
But it's going to be up 10 or 20 or 30 times, eventually too. But I've had many, many cryptocurrencies that I bought back in 2018, 2019 that went down 90+%. But I never sold them because it was a long-term belief and the long-term vision. And then they came roaring back this year and not only came back to what I'd invested, but went up many, many, many multiples, so it is definitely a interesting thing. But if you have one of the neat things about being a poker player and going through the variance of poker is that you do really you start to understand, okay, so my 1,000 is worth 500, but I don't care because I'm not spending it anyways. It's just a number on a computer screen. And as long as over the next 1, 2, 3 years, it goes up to 10, 20, 30, 40,000, I'm happy. To think about it, if you were investing in a traditional stock market and you put in $1,000 today, realistically, on average, what do you think that $1,000 would be worth, say, in 3 years, on average, just buying a good stock and hoping for it to do well? What would you be happy with if you invested 1,000 a day and it was worth, and how much would you be happy with in 3 years on that investment?
Well, if you just do the traditional buying and holding, nothing else, like a good stock, 10% is about it. So if it's a 1,000, maybe 13, 1,400.
Okay, and I agree with that. That's one of the things that I love about crypto. Now, let me ask you this: if you bought a stock and you really believed that it was going to go up over the next 4 or 5 years, the technology was great, and that it just was going to take some time to develop and really, really gain adoption, would you really be that worried about it if your $1,000 stock went down to 500, 600 at some point in time, when your long-term goal is, that it's going to take a couple, 2 or 3 years for it to turn into that 1,300 or $1,400?
No, I mean, I like I said, like if it's a small percentage that doesn't like bother me all that much, then it's fine.
Yeah, I agree. So, the neat thing about crypto is instead of going through all of that for 10%, most of the time you're going through it for, 1,000% or 10,000%. It's, different. I go by multiples. So rather, like when I say something went up 1,000% in the stock market, that's 10 times.
Yeah.
I'm talking about turning $1,000 into $1,000,000 when I say when it went up 1,000 times. It's a little bit different. But back in 2017, my buddy who tried to get me into crypto, he turned 9,500 into 2.2 million.
Wow.
That's one of the reasons that I get excited about crypto, is because you can take small amounts of money and turn them into life-changing amounts. He was told about Ethereum when it was $9. He was told about a token called Neo, which hasn't been in the news as much today, but Neo back in 2017 was around a 17-cent coin the first time he heard about it. And it went up to $196 at the end of 2017, beginning of 2018. He actually had bought 5,000 of them for a few $100. And that 5,000 at its peak was worth almost $1 million.
Wow.
5,000 tokens. So the math, if you would have bought $500 worth of Neo at 20 cents, it would have been worth $493,000 less than a year later.
Yeah.
So absolutely, with crypto, I recommend to everybody that they should have a little bit of it. But I'm with you. If they don't want to invest more than a couple of percent of their portfolio, I don't have a problem with that. But I do think that they should start getting some exposure to it and understanding it, because it really is, and I believe is going to be the wave of the future. Just like you can't do anything in today's world without internet and computer and cell phones and that kind of stuff. Blockchain technology over the next 5, 10, 15 years is going to become a part of our normal life. It's going to be integrated into just about everything we do, our cars, real estate transactions. That's the main value behind cryptocurrency, not the fact that you're investing in this pie in the sky invisible token and hoping that it's going to go up and increase your money. When you bought into Amazon or Apple or Tesla, you didn't buy the share of stock just because you thought it was going to be, the speculation on it was going to cause it to go up. No, you bought Tesla because they're creating a new paradigm in cars with the batteries. Apple back in the day, because they created a new paradigm with the computers, Microsoft and all of those tokens. You know what I mean? Like if they were a cryptocurrency, you wouldn't be buying them just hoping that this invisible token was going to skyrocket. You're buying them because the technology and the company behind them is going to, mass adoption. If you look at computers over the last 25 years, almost nobody had one 25, 30 years ago. Now everybody has one, sometimes two or three. I've got three sitting right here in my vision. I've got this one, I got another laptop right here, and then a desktop right there. I got three within 3 feet of me. And then my wife's office is on the other side of this room, and she's got her desktop and her laptop. So we got 5 computers just in this one room, where, 30 years ago, nobody had a computer. And when they first did, they were extremely, clunky and not very fast and very expensive. Blockchain technology is like that. It's so much better than the current system and the current way that we do things, that it's just going to take over. And like I say, over the next 5, 10, 15 years, you don't want to get left behind. So I'm glad that you have at least a little bit. And if you hang around me for much longer, we'll get you some more. So let's see if we have any questions here. We've got a few comments by General. I don't know. Hey, General, if you're still on, do you have any questions for William before we call it a day? And then while we're waiting to see if he has any questions for you, I wanted to. So what's your call to action? So it sounds like you would love people to go check out your book. What about your socials? Like, I know you have a YouTube channel, William Hung Academy.
The best way you can stay in touch with me is through my Instagram, William Hung Official. I'm most active there. I do hop onto YouTube sometimes, but not all the time. So Instagram is the best way to get all the updates. And then, yeah, check out my book, Champion by Choice, on Amazon. I also have my Etsy shop. You can just Google that. And then the cameos. If you want some like a fun personal video, that I love making those. And yeah, the most important thing to remember, again, is to take risks in your life, because not doing anything, just thinking that you'll get there, sitting there, nothing will change, right? That's also a risk. And that's what most people don't realize. Doing nothing is a risk as well.
Amen. Well said. Well said. Well, it doesn't look like we have any questions, so I will wait. Let me see here. I'm going to pop this up here real quick. General says, no great story with William. I don't.
Not a great story.
Yeah. Because he made some other comments up here. So he actually watched your original audition. It says, show his original comment here. Cool to see you after all these years. I remember watching that audition many years ago. Way to go. So, so definitely General here will be hopping on your Instagram and keeping in touch with you. And then I love this too. General is very successful in cryptocurrency and has changed his life, but he also owns a business. You know, he lives on the East Coast. He owns a very successful business. But at this point in his life, we're talking about significant investments, like tens of thousands of dollars that he's investing into some of these crypto projects that he really believes in. And he's already done, you know, amazingly well. He's turned some investments into 5, 10, 20 times what he originally invested in them. So he's created some amazing wealth already through crypto. And he says here, you know, give him my Telegram and vice versa. So if you have any questions, I mean, you are the one talking about taking risks. So one of the risks that you could take is to jump in just a little bit deeper into crypto potentially. Cause I really believe if you do what you're doing in the stock and options and translate a little bit of that into the crypto, not a big percentage, but just a smaller percentage, I would be willing to bet that your 5%, if let's say you got 5% invested into crypto, I'd be willing to bet good money that your 5% in crypto ends up making you more money than the 95% that you have in the stock market. So,
we'll see.
All right, man. Well, let's stay in touch. Thank you so much for being here today. I'll get this uploaded and send a link to you so that you can throw it up on your YouTube channel if you want your followers to be able to check it out and see you. But sure, man, it's always a pleasure. One of these days, I want to travel out to your neck of the woods and maybe go play some poker with you out at.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Is it Best Bet?
Best Bet, yes.
Yeah, man. Let's do it, man. Well, I'm winter time's coming here in Las Vegas. I'm ready for some sunshine and some beaches. So maybe sometime over the next 2 or 3 months, I can hop out there and we can spend a few days going and playing some poker.
Sounds good.
All right, buddy. God bless you, man. Take care. We'll see you soon.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.